You ever wonder how an AI can navigate a website just as well as a person? Well, the secret isn't just about reading the text on the page. It's about seeing the whole picture. Today, we're going to dive into a technology that gives AI agents a kind of superpower, the ability to see and interact with all the hidden parts of the modern web. The stuff that doesn't actually have its own URL. Okay, so let's get right into it. The main problem is that modern web apps are basically like icebergs. A normal web crawler, it only sees the very tip, the URL. But what about that huge functional part of the app that's just below the surface? That's where all the important stuff happens, and that's where things get really, really interesting. I'm talking about things like pop-up modals, content hidden in tabs, and menus that only show up when you click. These are the elements that make an app work, but since they don't have their own unique web address, traditional tools are completely blind to them. It's kind of like trying to get around a city with a map that only shows you the highways. So how in the world do you map this hidden territory? You can't just send in a standard web crawler, it'd be totally lost. What you need is a specialized tool, something like a cartographer, but one designed specifically for the interactive parts of the web. And that tool right here is the Deep UI Explorer. If you're looking at the technical side, you might see it called nova.explorer_surface. Now, this isn't a replacement for a crawler. Think of it as a powerful enhancement. A crawler finds the pages, but the Explorer goes deep into the functionality on those pages. So it works in 4 different modes. First, it can discover everything in a safe, read-only scan to map out all the interactive bits. Then it can activate something it found and actually click on it. Close is just for tidying up afterward. And my personal favorite is hover. It's this clever, read-only hover peek that lets it see what tooltips or content pop up just by moving the mouse over something without a single click. It's basically like having X-ray vision for a web page. Now, I want to be super clear about something. This is not about letting an AI just go wild, clicking on everything it sees. That would be absolute chaos and probably a disaster. No. Instead, this system is all about systematically building an intelligent map of the app's interface. It turns that chaos into order. And it does this by creating something called a state graph intermediate representation. I know it sounds complicated, but just think of it as a super detailed blueprint. A state is simply what the page looks like at any moment. A graph is the map of how you get from one state to the next. So it's building a complete map of every possible version of the page and how to get between them. It starts by scanning the page, then it identifies all the interactive triggers, the buttons, the links, the tabs. And finally, it maps out how all those pieces connect. But you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility. How do you give an AI the ability to click on things without it accidentally deleting your account or, buying 1,000 rubber ducks? Well, that's where this intelligent safety net comes in. It's a multi-layered approach to safety that's honestly just as impressive as the exploration tech itself. The first layer of this safety net is a 5-module pipeline that basically acts as the system's conscious. It's the smart decision maker that looks at every possible action before it happens and asks, hey, is this actually a good idea? This pipeline analyzes every single potential click. So, for example, if it sees a Learn More button, the semantic module goes, yep, this is probably safe. But if it sees a Delete Account button, the context module immediately flags it as high risk. It even weighs evidence from keywords and uses all these heuristics to score just how safe an action is. It's a really deep analytical approach to safety that leaves nothing to chance. But that's not all. Backing up that whole intelligent pipeline is a second, even more fundamental layer of protection, an always-on security detail. Think of these as the system's reflexes, hard-coded rules that are never, ever turned off. And this just perfectly illustrates the whole defense in-depth strategy. You've got these 11 guards that are like digital bodyguards. They're always active, preventing everything from accidental downloads to annoying pop-ups. My favorite has to be the interference detector, which actually stops a human from accidentally messing with what the agent is doing. It makes sure the agent stays exactly where it's supposed to be, no matter what. Okay, so we have a system that can explore the hidden parts of the web, and it can do it safely. But what does this all really add up to? Well, it's about so much more than just exploration. It's about a whole new level of understanding for AI agents. This whole thing really comes down to a core design principle. Instead of just trying to match patterns on a page, the goal here is for the agent to truly understand the semantics, the actual meaning of what it's looking at. It's the difference between just recognizing the letters D, E, L, E, T, E, and actually understanding the concept of deletion. This lets the system build a much more accurate, aggregated truth about what the application is really doing in real time. And what this all means at the end of the day is that we're moving past simple page crawling and into a deep, human-like comprehension of web applications. This is the absolute key to unlocking truly reliable and powerful automation for complex tasks that, until now, only humans could do. And honestly, this is just the beginning. So the big takeaway here is this. By giving AI agents the ability to see and safely interact with the entire application, we're not just making them better web browsers, we're giving them the ability to truly understand and operate in our digital world. This opens up a whole new frontier of possibilities, from fully automated customer support to AI assistants that can manage our complicated digital lives for us. So the question really isn't just what problems they can solve next, but how is this going to change the way we interact with the web forever?